Okay.
It wouldn't be online gaming if there wasn't technical difficulties.
Yes, and hello, all. We had a really clever like intro where it seemed really natural, and then you couldn't hear us at all. So now I think you can. OBS is telling me that we're making noises again. Yay!
Yay.
You heard online dating. What? How did you hear online dating?
Online dating?
What?
That's someone else's channel has slipped into our stream. No, we were talking about we're talking about our parents seeing us online and how embarrassing that might be or can be,
Mhm.
has been. But hello, welcome all to Actual Play's second episode of Autumn of the Ancients with Jen and Banana. And Jay can't be with us today because he's got family stuff going on. Go figure, December 21st, somebody having stuff going on. But I don't think I can't remember if we like did intros last time. So I'm gonna ask folks to do it this time, just in case. Now you're at the top, so why don't you go first?
Cool. Okay. Hi. Hi, I'm Banana Chan, and I am one half of Game in a Curry, and I write Flirt.
Nice. Game in a Curry's website is Game in a Curry. Is that right?
Yes, it's gameandacurry.com.
Awesome.
And we're about to publish 2 new games. We're publishing Diamonds.
Yeah, Diamonds.
Yeah, Diamonds.
There's an exclamation mark in it, so I figured I have to say it. Like, yeah. I played
it. And we're also publishing Judge Dredd Block War. That's coming here.
That does not have an exclamation mark in it. So
no, it does not. Not as exciting.
Cool. How about you, Jen? Who are you?
I'm Jen Martin. I am less than one half of the JanCast podcast. I forget how many of us there are. So I like 1/5 or something. I don't know. And I am working on this game, Autumn of the Ancients, with my friend Adam Robichaux. And that's pretty much it. I'm not as ambitious as Banana is.
There we go.
My partner does most of the work.
See, listen though, if you can be half of a thing and get them to do more than half, like I think you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, that's a good setup. I'm Sean Nittner, and I'm one half of the hosts of Actual Play, and as well as someone who works on games for companies like Evil Hat and other fun things. But you all know me because so far I think I've been on all the shows on this. Also,
stream. He runs this little awesome convention, Big Bad Con.
It's cool.
Oh,
it's good times. We've had all the wonderful people, all the people on this game were at Big Bad this year. Yeah, it's still this year. And I don't know if I gamed any of you, but part of the reason why I wanted to play this is because I was missing it. But yeah, so welcome to Actual Play. Our VODs are, for the last session, if you want to see it, are on YouTube. There we go, that link. And last we left off, we were just in the Gateway Nebula. And I love, like you said, Jen, that we had that thing where like, oh no, it's turbulence. Oh no, the ship is like gonna crash. Who knows how to fly the ship? I don't know. Who's driving? Bear's driving. Naturally. No one knows how to drive.
Listen, like we have spaceships. It's plausible that they can drive themselves.
I mean,
now.
the liminal is sentient, right? We're flying in.
True. Yeah.
Liminal must know.
True. Yeah.
Like how this works. So I'm gonna say what I think the order of operations of play is, because it's very complex. There's lots of phases and steps.
Super.
And things going on.
It's like charts. Yep.
There's so many charts. This is like Rollmaster with how many charts there are. And I'm gonna say what I think is the order of operation, and then you tell me if I got it right. That way you don't have to explain it. You can just correct me.
Okay.
So we've already started, but as we go along, each one of us will move once we've sort of had all the scenes we want in an area. One of us will move the liminal to another location. In this case, our only choice right now is Liberty's Landing, but soon we'll have forked splitting choices, and we'll describe a scene of what it's like in that, like the environment itself. And then in any particular order, we'll each move our characters over and pick one of these prompts. Let me pull these prompts up for everyone. Like in Liberty's Landing, one of them is constellations, and the prompt is a happy memory, and we'll use one of those prompts to frame a scene. And then once everyone's had a scene in an area, we can either keep framing more scenes, or we can move the liminal to the next place and repeat. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. I love the system. It's completely new. No one's ever thought of this before.
Super original system. No, I just shamelessly stole an awesome thing that somebody else made.
I think it's super smart to shamelessly steal from Ross.
Listen, like seriously, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Fall of Magic is a brilliant game, and I am super excited to be building onto it.
And although we don't have Jay with us tonight, we do have his very licky dog. It's just like, hello, I have to lick you 1,000,000 times. There it goes. Because I was running around all day, and he was annoyed that I wasn't sitting down like I usually do all day, sitting in my chair with him in my lap. So now he's there. Emmett will join us. Awesome. So I think
we're
ready.
Like a little space doggy helmet.
Oh my god.
Oh yes.
He has a bunch of Christmas outfits, honestly.
Oh my god.
He hates all of them.
Of course.
Yeah, because he doesn't like wearing any clothes. He just wants to be a Nikki boy all the time. But the cutest one is well, I know they're all cute, but he has a reindeer one, and it's really adorable.
Aww.
Got a little antler kind of things. It's very cute. He doesn't have any space ones. That's what I definitely, before next game, I should fix that.
That'd be a good investment.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know it's only gonna be for one game, dog, but you get a spacesuit.
Do it for the views.
Yeah, I'm sure it will get spacesuits for dogs.
You never know when you can like reuse that stuff, though.
Right. Well, soon they will pick up our Scum and Villainy game, and that's in space too. So we got space all over the place, and just Halloween costumes, you name it. But doggy aside, we should play a little Honor of the Ancients. Does anyone want to move the liminal and give us a view of Liberty's Landing? I did it for Alpha Station, so I'll let one of you do Liberty's Landing. Hey, John. Chat with people in chat.
We had said that the liminal like lives in sort of crystals, right? So like if we want to bring the liminal to the planet, we can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's sort of Fortress of Solitude on the inside, at least, and we can like pull the like memory crystals or the sentient crystals from its bridge and bring them with us so that it can be present. Jen, do you want to do the Liberty?
Yeah, I can totally do that.
Cool.
So Liberty's Landing is on a planet, and I actually think that as the giant crystal spaceship flies up to the planet itself is like almost all green. I think all of the water is like in caves underneath. So instead of it being like blue-green, it's just almost all green and like white clouds and mountains and stuff. And the Rayari are welcoming us. What does that look like?
All right, we have the hospitality of the Rayari.
Yeah. So I think, what do these aliens look like? What is interesting and different from what we've already done?
If there's no water on the surface,
Mhm.
perhaps they are trying to think of creatures that don't. Trying to think of like earth creatures that don't need a
Yeah.
lot of water. I'm imagining like possibly like reptilian type
Ooh, I like
creatures.
it. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So yeah, sort of like scaly, reptile-y kind of people. I think they're like quadrupeds. They're not like bipedal.
Nice.
And yeah, so we have managed to stash the liminal in like this, sort of like block of crystal or whatever. And I think actually I'm probably carrying it
Nice.
because the spider is probably not carrying it, and the frog is also probably not carrying it.
Nice. Oh, why don't we? Sorry, I didn't think about this. We should probably remind people who our characters are as well, really quickly, because
Oh,
yeah, we have these characters. Why don't you tell us about Callisto?
Yeah, so Callisto is sort of tall and skinny and also translucent skin. And her original home planet, her species is aquatic, so she speaks primarily telepathically, and she has gills but can also breathe because science fiction.
Because science.
Yep, because future. We fixed everything in the future. Yeah, so that's and somebody at the last game suggested that you can actually see her like digesting food, and it's just gross enough to be like, yeah, I think that probably happens.
Yeah, I like the translucent
Mhm.
skin. We had fun bits with you trying to hear Ori's thoughts, and Ori being
Yes,
a computer.
I'm sad Ori won't be here this time.
Yeah. How about Nebo?
Nebo is a giant tree frog, and he's trying to convince everyone that his name is Pog, and he is the director of accounting for this group.
He is completely convinced Kamala.
I'm glad.
Kamala took that on faith, had no reason to not believe that Nebo would be anything but what he said he was, which was Pog. And yeah, Kamala is the specimen of Echo Station. She has a dying race of spider people that whose sort of genetic lineage is unsustainable, and so in order to kind of keep her people alive, her species alive, these people on Echo Station have grafted her with various DNA from another. I wrote down the names of the Minsk and something else. She is Minsk by as she identifies, but they also sort of grafted on these this goat-like DNA to her, and so she has
Goat spider. Yep.
Yeah, so she's a goat spider. Lots of eyes, but they're goat eyes, horns on spider head, you name it. If it's weirder for it to be goat or weirder for it to be spider, that's the thing that it is. And she's very insecure and feels very embarrassed, and it's like the first time she's been released out of the like lab, and she doesn't know what she is, and she feels very alone.
And Ori didn't have a Nebo on the register, and so Nebo is officially Kamala's pet.
Yes, right. Oh, I love that scene. He's like, well, you can't be a person on the ship because we have all those accounted for, but you could be you could be someone's pet. So yeah, Kamala sort of volunteered to be Pog's owner with the understanding that was just to facilitate the director.
It was a technicality. It was
It just happened.
Ori has to get better at keeping those records.
Yeah, gotta do something
Yeah.
about those records.
Squash. Cool. Yeah, so I totally see Callisto carrying the like batch of crystals that are glowing in. Can we say that they're glowing in like a reddish auburn hue at the moment? Sort
Yeah.
of
Ooh.
the one that might match Jen's hair.
Oh, yes.
I like that idea.
Nice.
I mean, they can change color, but you know.
Cool. Yeah. So we are, sort of officially welcomed by the Rayari. Clearly, having the Liminal come visit is a great honor. And they are a quadruped, sort of lizard species, but they have like very intricate, like braided sashes, I think. Not necessarily like clothes, but like they're sort of ornamented with these sashes that that sort of call out the rank of them. Like the most important one has the fanciest ones.
Nice. Yeah, I like that sign that you can tell someone's sort of rank and whatnot by their ornamental sashes.
Nice.
Is Callisto being an aquatic based creature on a planet that doesn't have access to a lot of water without going underground? Is she adversely affected by the climate, or is it fine for her?
I think it's more adversely affecting her mentally than it is physically. I think that she doesn't get the point of a planet that doesn't have like a bunch of wide oceans. It's like, wait, where's the water? What? Wait, no, there's got to be water.
But really, do we get the right place?
Yeah, so I think she's carrying the crystal, but she's kind of like looking around, like, and even as we were coming to the planet, like she's looking at the record for the planet, and she's like, "That's not blue. There's supposed to be blue planets."
Maybe it's green water. Nope. It's just, yeah, I dig it. I have an idea for a scene in Odin's shipyard.
Cool, do it up.
I think I'll do that.
Nice.
Let's bring Kamala over there. So when we arrive, Odin's shipyard, the prompt is what you need for the journey. And I have a feeling that this wasn't. I have a feeling. I'm framing this damn scene. I'm going to say what it is. We didn't stop at Liberty's Landing just to like wave the liminal around and be like, "Hey, everybody, look what we have." I don't think the liminal can make it. I don't think the liminal can make the journey on the sort of fuel supplies that it has, and so when we get when we dock, everyone is expecting us, and when the the doors sort of open and we've all like walked out, Kamala's feet sink into the sand a little bit, and she is warmed by she enjoys the warm sand over her hooves and furry legs. And very quickly we are confronted by one of the somebody that's a leader, one of the Rayari leader that greets us, but then when they see the liminal and they see the kind of like the weakened state that it's in, look extremely hesitant and don't. It's very clear that they don't want to give us the fuel that's needed because it is precious to them as well. And so Kamala turns to Pog, the director of finance, of marketing. I'm sorry, marketing, finance. I'm forgetting.
Accounting.
Accounting. Oh no, God. It's all right. It's all right
It's
for me to
okay.
forget because Kamala would too.
I was just gonna say I love that Kamala can't remember.
Yes. And I think Kamala has like a brief interaction with one of these Rayari who don't want to give it up, this thing. And so she goes from being really happy that, oh, look at all these people are like, and there's a bunch of them like touching the side of the ship, like they're very interested in the ship and interested in having us here, but they don't want to give us things. So Kamala comes to Pog and says, I've spoken with Vischer, and she says that we can't have the fuels that we need. What she seems adamant that that we can have it, but I think we need it to make the journey. Since you're the director of public relations, what do we do now? And she asks you in this specific case, but it's really more like what do you do when somebody has something that you want and they won't give it to you? It's a very like naive kind of, I don't know what to do when someone says no, and I think we need it.
Pog is just like, did you try negotiating with Vischer?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I failed at that. I think I tried that, and I said we need it, and she said we need it too, and I said, but we have to have it, and she said no.
Is there anything that we could offer Vischer? Did you ask her that?
I think it was implicit. I feel like it was obvious that I was pretty desperate. Desperate maybe is not the right word. Yeah, no, it is the right word actually. Never mind. Yeah, no, I was pretty.
I don't want to make us seem too desperate. Maybe there's something that they want too from us. Maybe we could help them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Could you do that negotiation thing?
I'm kind of bad at it. But...
No, what do you mean? You've shown you have. That's why I'm coming to you, because you have this incredible expertise in.
Well, I do accounting. I don't really do.
You do accounting as well? Jeez, is there anything you can't do, Pog?
I guess not. You know what? When you put it that way, I'm going to go talk to Vischer.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You're the best pet. I mean, you're not really a pet. We all know that's a joke, but.
Cool.
Vischer is one of their leaders. Awesome. If you want to continue that scene on, but I think it was mostly just important for Kamala to see if you would do it.
My goal now for this game is that every single new place we go to, that Kamala gives Nebo/Pog a new title. Every place.
I'll see. Yeah, see what I can do. I'll try. I think it's possible. Awesome.
Nice.
Nana, do you want to do the next scene?
I kind of want to do a confession.
Oh.
That seems really appropriate for Nebo/Pog.
I want a scene with Callisto, like once I've walked away from Kamala.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go up to Callisto and I'm just like, Kamala just asked me to talk to Vischer about this thing. We're talking about, fuel and trying to get fuel for the ship, but the thing is, I don't do PR stuff. I'm not a PR person. My real name's not even Pog. It's Nebo.
Hang on for. Do I still have the liminal with me, or is someone else holding the liminal? Because that seems important.
I think
I'm
you
okay
should
with
have.
either.
I think you should have the liminal right now.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't want it, we could find.
No, it's great. It's
for not
great.
to do that.
Yeah. So like, I'm sort of holding this, the liminal, and as Nebo is talking to me, I sort of glance, like you see my eyes, like glance down, glance back up, glance down, glance back up. So you're not the director of accounting?
I mean, I could really do anything if you put me into that position, but I'm not really.
So Callisto actually like looks down at the crystal, at the liminal, and she's gonna like have this telepathic conversation. And I'm not gonna say exactly what is said, but it's basically like, you invited this person, right? No. Okay, but they're here, so like clearly they're here because you want. Are you sure? Like, you didn't just forget. What? So like a range of emotions are playing over my face. Okay, well, why don't we go together and try and get this fuel?
That sounds great. I am absolutely down with this idea.
Cool.
But I can still be director of accounting eventually, right?
You should talk to the liminal and Ori about that. I am not in a position of decision making.
That's a great idea. Thanks for your support.
Sure. I feel like from now until some other part of the story, like every time Callisto walks past Nebo, she's gonna be like, "What's your deal? What's up with you?" She's giving you like the side eye.
Yeah. This keeps more and more feeling to me like the Wizard of Oz, where all of us are sort of like, we're along for the ride. We really don't know where we're going. But...
Basically, yeah. Yeah, so I actually think that I probably have like a decent idea of like what we need and or why we need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do any more on that scene or if you want me to do a scene.
You can go ahead.
Cool. So I think that Nebo and I probably go talk to Vischer and get nowhere with Vischer. Because I think Vischer is trying to play hardball with us and, thinks he can get political clout by standing up to the liminal. And I am just like, let me go talk to the overseer because clearly we need the fuel. The liminals, like the crystals, are getting dimmer, by the minute. So I will take the liminal and go to Overseer Voko's office, and we're gonna have a conversation about what she thinks that we need. So I think actually her office, like we have to kind of go into a sort of cave, kind of like in a windy little downstairs kind of area. And for like being a cave, you'd think it would be more like damp, but it's really not. Like the walls are almost like a sandstone, kind of like dry and gritty. And she has an office, and I will take the liminal. Does either one of you want to play Overseer Voko?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Cool. So I will set the liminal down on a sort of like plinth, and then I'll kind of sit down in a chair. Overseer Voko, it's I appreciate the welcome. It's a lovely place.
Of course. Well, it's not every day that such a treasured, such as that such a treasured creature as the liminal graces us, and we hope that we can provide you every amenity that you need, that you seek, so this could be the liminal's final resting place.
About that, I think we both know that this is not the liminal final resting place. The liminal has been very vocal for a number of cycles that they are journeying to the birthplace of ancient technology, and that's where they need to go. Clearly, and I'll sort of gesture over to the liminal and how kind of like dim and there's like shadows in the crystal and stuff. Clearly, you can see the liminal is not doing well, and we need some of the fuel for the next part of our journey. And associate of mine spoke with Vischer, who seemed to be unable or unwilling to help us. And I was hoping that you could help us.
Yeah.
And Voco, she stands and it was Voco gendered? Sorry, I don't remember.
I have no preference. Up to you.
Okay. All right. Voco stands and she walks over and like she sort of how would she recline if she's quadrupedal? I'm not sure. Anyway, from whatever
she could sort of like lounge on her side on like a long chair kind of thing.
Yeah. So she disappears for a moment under like the furniture and whatnot, and when she reappears, she like puts her claws up on the plinth that you had placed the liminal, and kind of with one claw, like just very gently kind of caresses the edges of the or sort of touches the edges of the crystal, and she she says, well, the energy that you seek, comes from the core of our world, and if you she hesitates, like if you left the liminal here, clearly over time it could restore itself, but obviously you don't have. She sort of
it's not us wanting to leave the liminal here, it's the liminal wanting to finish their journey. Can't you hear them?
She like perks her ear, like as though like the liminal is speaking. She's like, no, should I be able to? I have good hearing.
And I sort of like reach out a hand and sort of like look at her to see if she'll let me sort of touch her hand with mine.
Yeah, that's
and then I put my other hand on the liminal so that then she can have a telepathic link to the liminal and she can feel their suffering. Actually, maybe not suffering, but like certainly their like fatigue and tiredness.
I want to ask what we think before I respond from her. What we think the relationship between whether or not the Riari are the settlers or the indigenous species on this planet, because I see there's another location that's unity between the settlers and the species.
I could go either way.
Yeah, same.
My brain originally goes indigenous, and so my mind goes, no, the opposite thing.
No, the opposite. Yeah, the opposite thing. Okay, cool. So let's say, yeah. So I think when she feels this, when she knows this, and she can't like pretend not to anymore. She can't pretend not to know what the liminal wants. She's like, you're right. Vishra controls our supplies, but he's only reserved because of his concerns about the relationships with and I'm now gonna need to think of another alien name because I don't know.
If I was smart, I'd have the PDF open because the PDF has lists.
What? Hold on, I could do that.
It's almost like we knew that coming up with alien names on the spot.
It is hard.
It really is.
Because you're just like, what is your frame of reference when you're like, I don't know anything about this planet, and you're trying to sort of like making it up off of the.
You should make up a name that starts with V, because so far all of the Rayari have names that start with V. All two of them.
Well, no, but this isn't a Rayari. This is a
gotcha.
species. So I'm gonna make a name that doesn't start with.
Dun dun dun.
All right. Okay, I got some species names here. The Pema.
Cool.
Pema are the indigenous species. Indigenous species. All right. Okay. Okay. So I was trying to figure out what Voko's deal was, and I think I know what it is now, and that we have the case of we have the case of tension between the Rayari and the Pema, and Voko says Vischer believes that we'll user clone. Vischer believes that we will soon that our relationship with the Pema, which has been tense for many years, will soon break out into more than just will soon turn worse. We hope that there will not be violence, but we have been hoarding our reserves in fear that the Pema, who are connected, who are live underground themselves, will cut us off from the supplies that we will cut us off. I'm going to say from the water. That seems to be like a major theme of this.
It's water that's got some special chemical in it.
Yeah, exactly. I think the water, like they have to like pipe it up from the underground to get it to the surface. And although they're a species that deals well with a low water environment, they cannot deal with a no water environment. So and that's in fact what they're using for. What they want to reserve fuel for is the ability to generate moisture farms and things like that at Tosche Station. Yeah, there we go. So sorry, it took me a moment to figure out what Voko's deal was, but
I like it. That's awesome.
Voko says Vischer will never give up the fuel unless while the Pema and us and the Rayari continue to be at odds. If that's what you seek, try and help Vischer get over his own arrogance and make peace once again with the Pema. I've done everything I can, and he insists that they will attempt to betray us the moment once they can, or that they are betraying us even now in the negotiations they made when they say there's a shortage when there is none. Yeah, there we go.
I understand. Thank you for sharing this with me. Is there a way to set up a meeting with the Pema? I was gonna say you don't actually have to answer that. We can I
think that she says I'll see what I do, and then we can like smash to that meeting. I think there's also a thing that's worth noting. I don't know how the audience sees what telepathic communication Callisto has, but she was saying all these things with words, but what Callisto felt was that Visher's relationship with the Pema is very personal rather than political, and that he
Gotcha.
has been spurned. His pride has been hurt very badly, and
Mhm.
so he has made it difficult to
Gotcha.
to
He's complicated the relationship.
exactly.
I
And
understand.
so it's maybe less about fair trade and more about the leaders not butting heads.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Cool. I dig it.
Nice. All right. I want to go to the Colossus. I think that's where we'll meet. But I think there's like a long ways to go. And so we have to go like deep underground.
Mm.
And when we the caves they're the caves that the Riari live in, as you said, were dried and like sandstone. And as we keep following them, as we're like going with some of the Riari to this meeting, they are for the most part fairly small and narrow and filled with shadows. And at some point, our lights like are just lost in this abyss. Like there's just like the sea of blackness. And when we like turn up the light, we see this huge underground cliff face where an ancient like seismic event happened and it ripped it apart, and that's like what split open the world where the Pema lived. And so this is like the first contact that the Riari and the Pema ever had. Was in this huge big open cliff face, and you can see there the caves going down are like immediately as soon as you get into this room, you feel the moisture from below kind of precipitating out, and it's just it's scattered with the debris and the no, it's not scattered with debris. It was a long time ago. It's surrounded by graves
Ooh.
of the people who fought because while they get along now, their first encounter was a violent one. I believe so. Yes, a battle fought long ago. And it's unclear who is buried in those graves because the inscriptions on them are so old.
Yeah.
But there's various signs that this was once, a place of huge, a huge fight. And Kamala looks to Callisto and she says, I think she touches Callisto to convey her anxiety and her fear about being around these people, and these like people that have just like been revealed to be very warlike, or at least at some point were very warlike.
Yeah.
And she says, what do you think would have caused so many people to give up their lives? And she kind of like I don't think she asked that. She just asked like, is there something worth this much suffering? Because she likes asking these crazy questions like, what do you do when you can't get what you want? What is there anything that's ever worth this many people dying? Yeah. And and from touching Callisto, you can tell that like this comes from her own place of fear and anxiety about her own people dying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that Kamala probably feels Callisto trying to be reassuring, but while doing so while like looking at a bunch of graves, it's not actually all that reassuring. Because I don't think Callisto has ever seen like this much like fighting up front, right?
Yeah.
So I think that she's just sort of taken aback with like this wave of, oh dang, like
These people fought a lot.
they sure did. Yeah, but it was a long time ago. That's interesting. So they have managed to come together, although there's some tension now.
Do you think we're safe?
I think so. Voko seemed to think that the major obstacle would be Vischer and whoever of the Pema that he normally negotiates with. I think if we can get them a little closer to the center between the two of them, I think that it won't be an issue. The planet, I don't think has a shortage of, this fuel source. I think Vischer and the Rayari have a shortage of it, and I don't blame them for not wanting to share, their limited resource with us. But I also know that, like, without it, the liminal is going to be in big trouble. So,
Are you still carrying the liminal?
I think so.
Yeah.
What better negotiating chip than a dying celebrity?
This will make things all better. Kamala's like, I wish I was as confident. I wish I had the assurity that you and Pog do. I think that comes from knowing who you really are, and I just don't.
Some of my surety comes from the liminal, who seems to think that we will absolutely be able to, figure out a solution that works for everyone.
And I think like a couple shadows like come across us, like we're darkened by shadows as like
Nice.
other figures have come up from the watery cave.
Yeah.
To meet us, and and Kamala once again looks anxious. So that's, I think, her default. Maybe it's because I have an anxious dog in my lap. I'm just thinking, Kamala, it's okay. She is not incessantly licking you. I guess that's a plus sign.
Seeing as how she's a spider goat, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think Callisto has like fake stoic face on. Like she thinks it's all going to work out because the liminal says it's all going to work out, and the liminal is like mystic wisdom, right? Yeah. Like she's like they just know what they know, and that's fine. I think that Callisto will be on stronger footing identity wise when she's kind of doing her part with the key and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Awesome.
What's Nebo up to?
Yeah, Nebo would see Nebo.
I think Nebo's just terrified. And just like I think sort of like tugging at Kamala and being like, this is a bad idea. Why are we doing that?
Oh, that's so good. Kamala's like, you guys are so confident. Everything's fine. Nebo. Why are we here? Oh, dinner. Oh, there goes my puppy.
Oh.
Yeah, I dig it. I think that's a good like cut to the scene. Then do you want to do the next one?
I can. I was gonna say. I'm sorry. Did you say banana?
I said banana just because we had just done it, but we don't. Yeah. I mean, we don't have to go in any particular.
No, you can go ahead, Jen, if you want.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I don't actually know that I need to see the actual negotiation on screen. I kind of like the idea of us seeing a scene of us like back on the ship, maybe like processing what happened or whatever.
Yeah, I'm fine with that too. Like
Yeah.
it's one of the beauties of this game is that like whenever there's like a part that we don't know how it would work, or really just a part that involves a lot of characters that aren't ours, like NPCs, I think it's totally fair to be like, and then that happened.
Yep.
Cool.
True facts.
All right, awesome. So maybe we're back on the liminal and we're trying to figure out what our next plan is.
Sure. Yeah, you could move the liminal to the next one, or you could pick like constellations, a happy memory, or
Yeah.
I think the only other one is like the unity between the settlers and the indigenous species, which I agree we can.
Okay.
Jen, as game creator, will you remind me? Can two people pick the same space to have a scene? Can you have multiple?
Yes.
One. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, you don't necessarily want to do them like back to back or whatever, but yeah, you can totally overlap.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So what if I did a happy memory, and I'm trying to convince both of you that we should go to the capital next, because I secretly want to see my family, but we also have resources there that we need. Does that sound like a good scene that you guys want to do?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, Callisto, where do you think we should go next? Maybe the capital?
Well, the capital certainly would have better resources. From what I've read of the ancient cloud, it can be a dangerous place, and especially because like the ship that we're on is basically sentient crystal. It's probably safer if we avoid the ancient cloud.
I agree. I completely agree.
And if we go to the capital, I'm not sure if Kamala was in the conversation originally, but I think she just appears.
Yeah.
There's the clattering of her hooves on the crystalline surface. Clack, 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 clack. She doesn't. Yeah. And if we go to the capital, that also means that I think our starflight path will also, in addition to not passing through the ancient cloud, we also won't stop by Echo Station 1. Is that right? I think that's right.
Correct.
I think that's and like, yeah, I think that's a great plan. I'm very much for this plan of not going. I mean, going to the capital.
You don't want to go home, Kamala?
That's not my home. That's just where I was taken.
I apologize.
You would love the capital.
I mean, it's fair to say it's my home. It's where I've always been, but it didn't ever. I lived on a reserve. I don't know what home is, but I don't think it's Echo Station 1.
It might be the capital. Most likely the capital.
Where are you from, Nebo? I now call you Nebo at all times. I don't call you Pog.
When you say, I think maybe, I mean, it might as well be this time. I'm sure there's another time you said Nebo, and I'm like, no, it's Pog. Fine. I guess it's a nickname. People do that. Whatever.
I'm from the outskirts of where we're going next.
Oh, so you are going home?
Well, it's kind of home. So, yes, that's where we're going.
I mean, is it the place where you were taken and mutated and spliced with another creature? I don't feel like it's home. That's what I think of when I think of not home.
No. My home is where my family and friends are.
Is that in the capital cluster?
Well, yeah, it is.
Oh, well then we should go see your family and friends. I'm sure the liminal wanted us to pass. Yeah, no, I'm sure we should do that.
But also for resources, right? It's not just because of that. I mean, that's not the only reason why I want to go.
Okay, but
Sure.
I think if it's on our journey and we're able to see your family, how many siblings do you have?
A lot, about like 40.
That seems overwhelming.
You would love them. They're a handful, but they're great. This was all a little too easy. I expected this to be a little more.
I love the idea of Nebo being like, "Wait, yeah, we're doing it. Are you sure? What?"
I mean, Pog, is there any reason why you think we shouldn't go?
I think we should cut there.
Nice.
Yes.
Cool. Well, that is about an hour. So why don't we, as we cut there, why don't we take a break before we go to Capital Cluster and come back in a couple minutes?
Cool.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us while we've been playing and world building. And we'll be back soon. And if I can get the thing to do the thing.